This conversation begins with one of those thought-provoking questions that we should all be asking ourselves on a daily basis. Why should God give us another day? Now I want you to personalize this, individualize this. I want you to be selfish with this question. Why should God give you another day? We are so blessed to be created. We're so blessed to be here at such a time as this. I don't quite think we understand how blessed we are. And so I just wanted to make sure we focus on this question. Why should God give me another day? Go with me to the book of Hebrews, chapter 2, verse 6. I'm not the first one to ask this question, so I want to make sure you understand that when you look at the book of Hebrews, chapter 2, verse 6, Apostle Paul, he asked the question just a little bit different, but he's asking this question. He says, Lord, what is man? What is man that thou art mindful of him? Let me say it again. What is man that thou art mindful of him? Now, Apostle Paul is a man just like you and I, but he's looking at all of his faults, and he's looking at all of your faults and all of those faults before him and that will come after him. And he's asking the question, Lord, what is it? I mean, why do you think so highly? What is it about man that thou art mindful, that you give a thought to him? I mean, come on, Lord. You gave man 10 commandments and they've broken them all. You told them 6 things that you hate and the 7th is detestable, and they have basically ignored all 7 of them. Why should God give you another day? Now see, God sent his only begotten son so that he can regulate you, so that he could give you another day to do things the right way. He sent his only begotten son to pay a debt that you and I couldn't pay. We couldn't pay this debt, not the sin debt from the sin nature. And so God sent Jesus to rescue you and I, to pay off this debt so we could stay out of debt. And no matter how much we keep going back into debt, we still have an opportunity. Yes, we still have another day. Go with me to the book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 34. Watch this now. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow. Jesus. That's a message for most of you just right there. For tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. Your today, your right nowness, if you will, that's enough for you. You don't have time to be trying to poke your head over into tomorrow. That's God's business. God is sharing with us right now. Stay right here. Yeah. The issues you have right now in your family, in your life, the things that I have for you to do, Donnie, it's right here. It's in this day. Don't look a moment more over into next day. Now, I know we got a plan. Don't get me wrong, but some of you are drifting over into, you're trying to bring your tomorrow into your today. That's not going to work. God said, focus on today. I need your head firmly planted right here. You see, because you're missing things in today and you're trying to get over into tomorrow and you're not built for it. God wants to build you right where you are. Can you give God an opportunity to build you right where you are? Listen to me. Stop reaching over into tomorrow. You know, your children want to get, I want to graduate. I want to get out of high school. I can't wait till I get out of the house. I can't wait till I become an adult. Whoa, hold up. Every one of us can tell them. If we could tell them, we tell them, you better slow up. You better slow your roll. You better enjoy where you are in your youth. Because once you get over here, you can't go back. That's what God is saying about your tomorrow. Stop trying to get over into tomorrow. You don't know what's over there. You better you better slow your roll. Watch this. God is into giving the worst of us another day. I know you don't like that. You got some people in your life you wish they could cease right now in this day and don't see tomorrow. Don't see another day. I know you got some people you just say, God, why did you even birth them? Why did you create them? Now, watch this. See, you jump to other people. There's some worseness inside of you. And God has given you another day with that worseness inside of you. But he's given you another day. He gave Adam and Eve another day. We know they did. They listened to a voice outside of the voice of God in the garden. He gave Cain another day, as Cain listened to the evil voice inside of himself. But God gave him another day. God will always complete what he started, even if you have to use someone like Cain. We don't like it, but we're not God. God will use who he desires to use. And he used bad things and bad situations to get his purpose, yes, his purpose through, his plan through. Go with me to the book of Isaiah. Yeah, the prophet Isaiah, chapter 38, verse 1 through 5. This is going to be a good one for you. I want you to go pull out your resume. Wherever you are, put it on pause. Go get your resume. Go get it. We always want to pull it out and try to update it. I want you to update your resume today. Go get it. Take some time. I'm going to be here. Put me on pause. Isaiah chapter 38, verse 1 through 5. This is the prophet Isaiah. He's talking to the king Hezekiah. And he's got this message from the Lord. Verse 1 reads like this. In those days was King Hezekiah sick unto death. And Isaiah the prophet, the son of Amoz, came unto him and said unto him, Thus saith the Lord, set thine house in order, for thou shalt die and not live. He's saying, you won't see another day. Verse 2, then Hezekiah, the king, turned his face toward the wall and prayed unto the Lord. Verse 3, and said, remember now, O Lord, this is Hezekiah as he's praying to God. I beseech thee, how I have walked before thee in truth. Listen to this. And with a perfect heart, and have done that which is good in thy sight. And Hezekiah wept sore. Verse 4. Then came the word of the Lord to Isaiah, saying, verse 5, go and say to Hezekiah, Thus saith the Lord, the God of David thy father, I have heard thy prayer. I have seen thy tears. Behold, I will add unto thy days 15 years. Say what? Didn't you just tell him he was a dead man walking? You're going to give him what? 15 additional years. Why should God give you another day? King Hezekiah does something extraordinary. He turns his face to the wall and he starts reading off his resume as he prays to God. Let me tell you how it sounds so you can make sure you update your resume, okay? Get ready to update your resume. I told you to pull it out. The first thing on his resume, he says, Lord, I have walked before thee. Second thing, he says, Lord, I have walked in truth. The third thing, he says, Lord, I have a perfect heart. Do you have a perfect heart? The fourth thing he said was, Lord, I have done what's good in your sight. Not my sight, in your sight. Now, that's on his resume. Jesus. So what we see Hezekiah doing is Hezekiah is saying, Lord, you know what? Google me. Yeah, if you need to fact check my works, my accomplishments, he says, go ahead. If you need to check my references, he says, Google me. Wow. Hezekiah tells God, he says, no one has set aside time like I have to walk with you. He says, no one walks in your truthfulness like I do with you. Hezekiah says, no one, watch this, no one has kept a perfect heart like I do towards you. He says, no one prays you like I do. No one worships you like I do. No one prays to you like I do. Then he says, no one lives this believer's life with good tidings like I do for you. Do you have a resume that measures up to Hezekiah? Now you understand why God gave him 15 more years. Let me ask you this question. Brace yourself. What would this world miss if you wasn't here tomorrow? Think about that one. Yeah. Why should God give you another day? Well, what would this world miss if he didn't give you another day? What would be missing in your tomorrow that you're so anxious to get to if you weren't here? You see, we look at our works and all the things we do, but it wasn't about Hezekiah's work. No, it was about his worship. Did you just hear his resume? Everything on there was about his worship. He said, God, Google me. Google my worship moments. God told Isaiah the prophet, he says, come here. Go back and tell Hezekiah, I have heard his prayer. I have Googled his resume, and I have found him worthy of 15 additional years. It's important to have a a resume, but it's more important what's on that resume. When you look at Noah's resume shared with us that he walked with God, that he was a perfect and just man, and that he found grace in the eyes of God. That's a resume. Yeah, that's a resume worth having. When we look at Moses, do you realize that Moses stopped God from killing everyone, from killing all the Israelites? Because God said, Moses, what I'll do is I'll just take you and use you to build my kingdom with. And Moses said, no, hold on, no. That's not the, hold up, that's not the plan. Moses stepped forward and said, no, some of you would have taken that deal. Yeah, Lord, come on, use me and my family. No. Moses said, no, God, come on. No. You made it clear what you were going to do. That's on Moses' resume. That he didn't take someone else's blessing. Is it okay? Let me ask you this question. Is it okay for God to Google you? Is it okay for God to view what you're viewing on social media? I mean, is it okay? I don't mean to judge you now. I'm just asking. Because see, I want that type of relationship that Hezekiah has with God. I want that kind of relationship. Now, maybe this is not relatable to you. When I'm talking about Hezekiah, I'm talking about Noah, and I'm talking about Moses, but what about Jonah? I think Jonah might be more relational, if you will, relatable to you, even though he acted foolish at times. When you look at chapter 1 in Jonah, and we know the story about Jonah. Jonah refused to go to Nineveh to preach the word, and so he tried to do everything he could to get out of preaching in Nineveh. But in chapter 1, Jonah is rebelling and running from God and God's mission. But then we see in chapter 2, Jonah is repenting and returning to God. And then in chapter 3, Jonah is being restored. Yeah, he's restarting. He's running with God. You see, God believes in second chances. He believes in another day. So when you look at Jonah, maybe you see you there. God gives you time to what? To rebel. I mean, he does. He gives you time to walk away from him. God does that. That's how good and how merciful he is. But then God gives you space to repent and to return to him. And then he gives you time for a new start, a new beginning, if you will, a fresher life, a new heart, yes, to become that new creature that you've been called to become. Jonah reminds me of the story of Humpty Dumpty. You remember the nursery rhyme, Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall, and all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. That's us. We fall daily. Yes, we fall and we fail daily in this life that we live. I mean, we're bruised, we're busted, we're bitter, we're cut, and we're damaged, we're depressed, we're stressed. I mean, we're broken, but God still gives us another day to mend our brokenness. That's how awesome he is. That's how merciful and how graceful he is towards us. Yeah, God, what is man that thou art so mindful of him? We're his. God truly believes in second chances. It's like playing golf. You hit a bad shot, you drop another ball, you take a mulligan. We've been given so many mulligans in our entire lifetime. Jacob got a mulligan when he cheated on his brother Esau and took away his blessing, took away his inheritance. Moses got a mulligan when he murdered a man. Samson got a mulligan when he wasted his talents and ended up in prison. Peter got a mulligan when he denied Jesus 3 times. David got a mulligan. Yeah, King David got a mulligan when he committed adultery. God gave each one of them another day. He gave them all a mulligan. Now let me transition to us. I mean, to us. Why should I give you another day? You see, that's where we are. It's all about me, myself, and I. Social psychologist Amy Cuddy from Harvard, she makes this statement. She says that people judge you based on 2 questions when they first meet you. Can I trust this person? And can I respect this person? And I agree with her. I mean, I like this line of questioning, because if I can't trust you and I can't respect you, then you're wasting my time. And I don't have time to be wasting, because I'm trying to get over into another day. And if I'm going to waste all that time on this day, and this might be my last day, I don't have time like that. In the book of Matthew, chapter 18, verse 21 and 22, we're told that then came Peter to Jesus and said, Lord, how often shall my brother sin against me and I forgive him? till 7 times? Jesus said unto him, I say not unto thee until 7 times, but until 70 times 7. Now, the reason I brought this scripture up is because we refuse to give grace to our own family members. We'll give strangers grace. But if our family member, if your son messes up, oh, it's just one time. If your wife mess up, oh, it's just one time. Oh, your husband mess up, it's just one time. If your daughter, it's just one time. But we'll give complete strangers so much grace, so much forgiveness, so much room to mess up and to get it right. But if someone you say you love unconditionally mess up, that's it. One time, that's it. One and done. But God says 70 times 7. So who are you? Aren't you glad that we're not God? Aren't you glad that man is not God? Because man, we all have somebody. We would love to tell God, God, you know what? That person don't deserve to live. Go ahead and cut them off today. And we all got somebody we like to offer up on the list, but not ourselves. Oh, no, not ourselves. I mean, when you think about it, I want to make sure I invest in this day more than any other day. Life is so important. And we've got people who are taking lives in wars, people who are taking lives out here in these streets. And we've got people who are taking lives in abortion clinics. We've got people who committing homicide, murder, you name it, just killing for the sake of just killing. This is my turf, so I'm going to take it. And don't care about somebody's life. That's where we are. Because we're not thinking about this day is not our day. It's a day that God has given us, but we don't own this day. And some of you, you're not looking at how your life is a piece of the puzzle of life. And every life is important. Every life. I don't care what you want to say about it. Where it's at inside of you, outside of you, every life is important. Because as a piece of this puzzle, if I can't find that piece to fit in this puzzle, then guess what? This puzzle is not complete. And so God created all of us to be a part of this puzzle. And we're doing away with each other. And so there's so many empty spaces in this big old puzzle of life. And we're trying to find out how can we connect and make things right. Well, you can't when you destroy it, when you've taken a life away. That piece of the puzzle can never be put in again. That fingerprint is missing. And that's why this world is in trouble. And that's why I ask you the question, should God give you another day? Why should he? You see, it's bigger than you. That's why. Yes, it's not all about you. You make it so much about you. No, it's bigger than you. It's about the kingdom. Are you into kingdom building, kingdom living, kingdom giving, and kingdom enlightenment? Are you into this for the purpose of God, for the will of God? Or is it all about you? Take advantage of this day, your daily bread, and realize that your resume needs to be full of worship. Be like King Hezekiah. Have a great resume of worship. My prayer lately has been, Lord, please don't let me make a foolish mistake or do something stupid as I get older. God has given all of us another day so that we can confess and believe that Jesus is Lord. So if you desire to have another day in eternity with God, repeat after me, Romans 10:9. Lord, I confess with my mouth that Jesus Christ is Lord. And I believe in my heart, God, that you have raised him from the dead. Now, if you have said that prayer, if you prayed that prayer and you meant it, then God is going to bless you with another day in eternity with him. That's the day that we're all shooting for. Why should God give you another day? Because we're shooting for eternity. You be blessed.